Hello all and welcome back. I hope you're doing really well. Thank you again for the love and support on yesterday's video. Hopefully you enjoyed that interview and got some value from it. That being said, this Sunday, I believe, I am looking to set up another live stream with the team over at Hedera Starter. A few of you previously joined me probably about 5 to 6 weeks ago when I did my first live stream with the team. And we'll be looking to emulate that again this Sunday, where we'll be talking effectively an AMA session, all things Hedera, all things crypto, just for us to sort of chill out for a couple of hours, sit back, relax, and interact with each other. So I'll be posting more information about that in the coming days on my Twitter account and probably the follow-up videos to this. Make sure you're following me on my socials to be announced. Would be fantastic to see some of you guys stop by and we can have a more of an interactive conversation with each other. That being said, let me jump straight into this video. Tons of stuff to cover again today. Obviously, the markets are not in the best of shapes recently. However, there is still some bullish Hedera news on the horizon and happening as we speak. Looking at the crypto bubbles, we can see some projects have started to return green from the previous couple of days' performance. Of interest to us, obviously, Engine down 1%. We see XRP here down 0.5% on the day. I did see Hedera a minute ago and I appear to have absolutely lost it. However, that's somewhere around 17 cents now. So fantastic buying opportunity on that. And I'm actually quite thankful that it's given me the opportunity to continue adding to my position. I want to talk about the macros in general. I've drawn on this comparison several times in the past. There is an extremely strong correlation between the equities markets, in particular the US equities markets, and the crypto markets. They move in tandem effectively, as majority of the investors have overlap. That being said, it's no surprise that we're seeing massive amounts of fear in the crypto markets because we have got massive amounts of fear in the equities markets. You can see here we're in extreme fear for the S&P 500 and it's 125-day moving average, which is just dipped below. We can see here, majority of the big tech stocks are hemorrhaging quite badly. That is despite having some good earnings for Q1 of this year that are being released recently. Some of you may have seen as well, Tesla's price falling quite dramatically after Elon Musk has just put the bid, or the bid has been accepted to purchase Twitter. There's a lot going on at the moment in the equities markets. Obviously, a lot of it is inflationary fear driven. The Fed is struggling to control inflation and doesn't have much leverage left with interest rates because of the amount of debt that's circulating after that massive amount of quantitative easing we saw last year. That being said, the future is bright, and those who tend to average into these positions and hold over the long term outperform the markets despite these crashes, drops, recessions, whatever you want to call them effectively. As I mentioned, 21 on the fear and greed index for crypto as well. So in a period of extreme fear, said it multiple times in the past, this is the time to pick up those blue chip projects at a discount. Some of them are trading 20% down from where they were last week. And what we tend to see is you buy in at the extreme fear points, even when stuff moves back toward neutral or the greed side of this spectrum, you tend to make 15 to 20% on those positions. Obviously do your own research, make sure you invest into high quality projects, and that you understand the risks of what you're doing, which hopefully you will do if you're in the crypto space. Something else I wanted to look at as well, actually, on a more of a bright side. After that news of Elon buying Twitter, it's no surprise, obviously he works with some of the teams over at, I think it's Doge. He's had recent run-ins in the past with and tweets about Dogecoin. The top 10 coins by Twitter volume as of today at 5:37 a.m. UTC were pretty much all meme coins. So I can see Shiba Inu there and some other ones that I do not know of. This may actually be a good sign for crypto in general. If we've got a lot of retail investors coming in and picking up these meme coins, eventually that value should flow out of those meme coins back into higher quality projects. Potentially at the moment, people are seeing this as a bit of a play because of integration into Twitter in the future, perhaps based on Elon's track record. We shall see how that plays out though. Something else I wanted to point to is GRAYSCALE investment is now ramping up. So the world's biggest investment vehicle for cryptocurrencies, GRAYSCALE, is sourcing Europe's top financial hubs to launch expansion beyond its North American base. The fund manager, whose 36 billion of assets are invested in funds tracking digital tokens such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, is holding a series of meetings with possible partners, according to Michael Sonnenschein, or Sheen. chief executive. He told the Financial Times that the company was excited by the potential to bring what we've learned from the US market to places like Europe. Obviously, Europe has drastically different financial laws to the US, and that is why you see a lot of these sort of ETFs and other types of tracking funds launch in the US first, and then they will migrate themselves across to Europe as they meet the more stringent regulations. This is obviously a very good sign. If we do see products like this launch in the European markets, that is a bigger pool of capital to be flowing into these crypto markets. Obviously, that's the narrative that I've been telling you guys over the past couple of weeks, and that is typically what we see happen, particularly on the macro level. Moving over to Hedera and talking about staking, thought that I'd be best placed to give another update, especially now as the TV hours continue to grow. Ironically, based on my initial calculations, I did say a growth rate of roughly 3% a day after that initial stage, and that is actually what we've been tracking at. So those early forecasts that I did were pretty accurate actually, and my forecasts are pointing at a total value locked of 400 million by the end of April, so around the 30th to maybe the 1st of May. So that's literally a couple of days ago. That being said, once you hit that 400 million Hbar TVL, or total value locked on STADER, phase 2 will conclude and we will move into phase 3, where the emission rate becomes variable and based on the number of rewards distributed via previous epochs. Now, I don't exactly know, I haven't been tracking the number of days at the different levels as to what rewards have been distributed so far. However, I think we'll see the APY jump somewhere around 55 to 60%, maybe even north of 60%, depending on how the split ended up working. So just note that in the coming days, we will see the epoch rewards increase again. I think they're going to go to somewhere around 800,000 Hbar a day. Again, that's based on my early calculations. So we'll see how right I was. I'll be the first to admit if they were a little bit off. That being said, that's obviously nearly a 50% or over a 50% increase in the Hbar rewards, and we should see a nice jump again in the APY. So make sure you're staked into these pools if you're not. Also, which is really good, STADER appears to have listened to the community, and they are now telling you what your total HBARX value is. So you can see here, my HBARX was 5,500 in this particular wallet, and that is now actually worth 5,600 Hbar. So that is effectively accruing my rewards. So you can see I've basically earned 126 Hbar in this wallet since I was staked. So hopefully that clears up some of the confusion. And again, that's based off this exchange rate, which only goes up, and the rate is fairly dynamic. Like I said, there was an infographic that I pushed out. This is obviously some early information. I think we're going to see a spike back up and probably around 800,000 HBARX per epoch being distributed as the rewards. What I would like to say is, if you're not following me over on Twitter, make sure you are. There are some more infographics coming soon, which I will be distributing. Moving on to some other news. Yesterday, Dead Pixels Club finally launched their initial drop. So drop 1 was initiated. 500 ghosts were put out there into the world. Fantastic launch. I believe they sold out within 65 seconds. They're already selling over on Zuse Marketplace. So congratulations to any of you that did manage to pick those up. Already 61,000 Hbars worth of volume in less than 24 hours. And we've got an average sale price of 622 Hbar, floor price of round up 400 Hbar. Bearing in mind the mint fee for these ghosts was 200 Hbar. So effectively you've already got 100x if you own some of these NFTs. Absolutely fantastic. If you did miss the mint, obviously come over here to zuse.market and potentially pick up some of these if you're interested. Great project in general with some fantastic guys running it. If you're not following them on socials, I suggest you do. So they've got a fantastic Twitter account. There will be more drops in the future, and I believe they're still giving away ghost passes on their Discord server. So make sure you're on their Discord server, as there's lots of fun stuff going on there as well. Scrolling through their Twitter feed, obviously you can see tons of these. I managed to mint 2 of them. I did try to go for 3 and 4, but it was pushing me out due to how quickly they sold out. Like I said, somewhere around 65 seconds. Really successful launch, and I'm glad that I managed to pick up a couple. Talking about NFT transfers on Hedera and the DeFi ecosystem in general, or just the ecosystem itself, that appears to be increasing massively. There's a fantastic chart here posted by Brady over on Twitter talking about the total NFT transfers on Hedera, and we can see NFTs are making quite a home over on Hedera, particularly due to the low mint fees and obviously transaction fees, as well as finality. that Hedera provides against other chains like Ethereum and even Solana, for example. So we can see around in November, there were 18,000 NFT transfers. And then all the way up to April, and that's partial data because April's not complete yet, nearly 230,000 total transfers on Hedera as of the end of April, roughly, which is amazing amount of growth that we're seeing here on the ecosystem. And it's figures like this that really do go to show that the adoption is coming. And these numbers will only get bigger, particularly when we see the DEXs drop and there's more for people to do in the ecosystem in terms of tokens, pools, farming, staking, all that sort of fun stuff associated with DEXs. Now, wrapping the video up, I just want to touch on a couple of snippets of information about Hedera and some news pieces. Some recent news was released about Mance talking with the Bank of America's global crypto head, which is a guy called Alkesh Shah, where he basically said there is a fundamental trade-off. You can't get around it. If you want to have the highest transactions per second and the best security, then you need something like Hashgraph. So that is the global head of crypto at the Bank of America, effectively shilling Hashgraph as a non-compete in the crypto world, that you basically require Hashgraph if you want to be the best in the space, which of course all of these banks do want to be the best in space. It's how they make money. Head of the global crypto and digital assets strategy at the Bank of America was also joined by Mance for a deep dive on Hedera. I will leave this link down in the description for you guys to watch it. You can register and revisit apparently this sort of podcast that they did together. That being said, I don't want to just throw caution to the wind on this. This top comment here you can see by He Friend is basically saying Alkesh Shah is actually renowned for praising Solana extensively. If you Google his name, he comes up with a lot of articles surrounding Solana. That being said, he is clearly a crypto advocate and will be sort of talking about a lot of these projects, but clearly his focus is now turning to Hashgraph, which is obviously bullish for Hedera in general, particularly if the Bank of America potentially uses him as some kind of advisor or test pilot for a service. Wrapping the video up, I wanted to leave us with another use case for Hedera, and this is KRYPC. So it's a proud system integrator of Hedera Hashgraph using the HCS, Hedera Consensus Service. They've basically created a verification as a service, or VAS, and increased platform speed to store data on the blockchain. VAS allows for easy verification of digital documents for companies and individuals. KRYPC VAS has an open API that enables the issuance of verifiable, legal, and digital documents from your LOB application. So think of contracts, any kind of certification, all of that sort of stuff could effectively be distributed via KRYPC's platform, which is leveraging Hedera Hashgraph, obviously due to the transaction speed and low cost, and not to mention the scalability associated with it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this informational update. As always, make sure you're subscribed. Lots more videos coming in the future. Don't forget, May 2nd is when HSuite launches. There will also be a video on picking that up. Make sure you've got some Hbar lying around for that launch if you're interested, as I think those tokens will do very well. I'm also still waiting for a source swap announcement. I believe we'll be seeing something very soon coming out of the woodwork with those guys, particularly now as all the NFT sales have concluded. That being said, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.